Assalamu alaikum, dear friends. This is Manzoor, and welcome to our another conversation. Today's guest is my very special friend, and he has been teaching English grammar to students and at different places. So he's Wajid Assad, though his name is Wajid Ahmed, but he's from Magam. He has been teaching grammar in English language to the students at different places, and we call him Grammar Guru. And we are very happy to have a conversation with him, how to improve our communication skills, how to improve our pronunciation and accent, and how important these are. So I'll begin by asking my guest, uh, for someone who is aspiring to speak good English, could you share some of the tips which are essentially fundamental important in an English language? Wajid sir.
Yeah, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Yeah, the introduction was overwhelming. When you're talking about communication skills and improving on our communication skills and being a fluent speaker, minimizing the number of mistakes that we make in our communication, I think there are a lot of ways. The first thing that I would suggest to everyone is that we should speak more and more, because it is by speaking that you become good speakers. When you're speaking more and more every day and you have someone who knows language, someone who can correct you from time to time, someone who can rectify your mistakes, it's very important to have someone around who can guide you from time to time. Like, there are some people who want to be, in fact, everybody wants to be a good speaker, but the problem is not everyone is ready to speak. When you ask people or you ask them to speak somewhere or maybe make conversation on a daily basis, they say, no, we cannot do it because we're not good at it. Like, if you want to be good at it, if you want to get to the grips with English language, I think you need to speak more and more on daily basis, and learning grammar and having someone around who can correct your mistakes and who can rectify your mistakes, and someone who knows language well. When you listen to that speaker, when you talk to him every day or talk to her every day, you get to know different words, different structures. This is how we learn.
Okay, so that's quite good. That means one has to improve upon, one has to practice and exercise and practice and continuously. That will help us improve our language. Now let us go to another part of the language. Usually in this part of the world, we maybe if we are able to speak English, but many of us, including me, we don't actually take care of our pronunciations. Now, how important is speaking correct pronunciation, and how it is different from accent?
Yeah, it's a very nice question. And before I answer this question, I'd like to add one more point to my previous answer. And that is, one has to be a little patient. Things, they do not change when it comes to learning a foreign language. It does not happen overnight. Today you're not a good speaker and tomorrow you become, all of a sudden you become a good speaker. I think it takes some time. One has to be a little patient. The improvement in terms of language, it is abstract. You do not understand as to by how many meters or how many kilos you got improved. This is not something like that. It is abstract, learning a language. So we have to be patient. We have to go on working on it, and a time comes when we become good at it, more fluent than we were maybe 2 months ago or 3 months ago or a year ago. Now, coming to your next question, when you're talking about pronunciation, first we need to understand why to learn pronunciation. There are some people, I come face to face with a lot of people who say pronunciation is not important. I think I'm reminded of a quote. They say human beings disparage what they cannot apprehend. For example, I am not good at maths. And when somebody starts talking about maths, I tend to hate it. I'm like, why should we talk about maths? Just because I'm not good at it. And when somebody starts talking about English, literature, grammar, and I'll be like, wow, yeah, I want to take part in this conversation. it is not a matter of one's liking. I think, first of all, we need to understand whether something is important or not. Look, whosoever says that pronunciation is not important, I'm sure 99, not 99, 100% of those people are not good at pronunciation. That is why they say it. Once they learn pronunciation, once they start speaking with good pronunciation, you ask them the same question, they'll be like, yeah, pronunciation is very important, because now they have learned it. I think we confuse pronunciation with accent. Pronunciation simply means how to pronounce a word, how to articulate a word. Like D-O-O-R, it is door. It's a pronunciation of this word. We cannot say dar. We cannot say dare. It is door. Door is its correct pronunciation. So pronunciation simply means the way we have to articulate words. But when it comes to accent, it includes regional or international variations. There are a lot of things to accent, like rhythm. They say Kiwis, people from New Zealand, they speak through their nose. It's a matter of accent. It's not a matter of pronunciation. Now, if you say door, a person from England say door. A person from England will say door, and a person from New Zealand, maybe he or she, they might say like door. They might speak through their nose. So speaking through one's nose, it's a matter of accent. And rhythm, like we are from India. Our accent is flat accent. But when you talk about natives, like people from America or from England, they know where to put stress on a particular word. Like your one word, laboratory, in England, they say laboratory, but the same word is pronounced as laboratory, because the stress shifts from one syllable to another syllable. So accent it's a much wider term than pronunciation. Pronunciation simply means how to say a word. I think if people say accent is not important, we shouldn't follow American accent, we shouldn't speak with British accent, I'm okay with it. But you cannot say pronunciation is not important. Now, here is one interesting anecdote. There was a person who came to me once. He said, "Sir, I want to learn English, since you are a language trainer, and I want to learn English." I'm quoting that person. I told him, okay, it's okay, you can learn. But I said, I don't want to learn pronunciation. I humbly asked that person, why don't you want to learn pronunciation? What's wrong with pronunciation? And it was like, sir, I don't want to speak like Britishers. I don't want to speak like Americans. I just want to be a simple English speaker from India, from a village. Then I made him understand. See, you are talking about pronunciation. If you take one word from Kashmiri language, one word from Urdu language, one word from English language, one word from Arabic language, I, as a Kashmiri, I do not want people to mispronounce Kashmiri words, do I? I don't. I cannot afford someone to say, if it is a word, for example, a master or somebody who has mastered some art, we call him wast in Kashmiri. It's wast. Now, if somebody says wist or wust, I laugh at that person. I'd be like, hey, come on, you cannot pronounce my language like that. You cannot say wust when it is wast. Right. Now, same is true of Arabic. You might have seen in your vicinity as well. Now you hire ulamas, you hire those molanas, those molvis who lead our prayers. We want our molvis to be like, their Arabic should be perfect. They should be pronouncing correctly. So we have no compromise there with Arabic language, with Kashmiri language, no compromise, with Urdu language, no compromise. But when it comes to English, there are double standards. We're like, pronunciation is not important. So it shouldn't be important everywhere. You'll be like, no, pronunciation is not important in any language. Speak any language, whatever way you like. But when people start talking about English pronunciation, they say, no, it's not important. I have a question to those people. You say English pronunciation is not important. Don't say pronunciation is not important. And one more thing, if you're like, pronunciation is not important, you have to have some argument. You have to defend your argument. If I say pronunciation is important, I'll give you 10, 20, 12, 5, 6 arguments that for example, that go by a principle. Like if I say pronunciation is important, I have to defend it. Why is it important? Because every other language, the pronunciation of every other language is important. So should be English pronunciation, you know. And there is one more point. When people say pronunciation is not important, they mean accent. Look, we say in this part of the world, we say pen, P-E-N, pen. But people from America, from England, they say pen, which is a matter of aspiration. You aspirate few sounds like p. You say train. We say train. They say teacher. We say teacher. It's a different fact. So you don't want to say pen, say pen. It's okay. It's correct. Absolutely correct. No problem with saying pen. But there's a problem if you call pen as pin. That's a problem. So I think pronunciation in every single case is important. In all probabilities, there is no compromise there. You have to pronounce words correctly. Yes, today you might not be able to pronounce every single word, but we can correct it. We can improve on it. Like I cannot claim to be a paragon. I cannot claim to be a know-all. I can't say I know the pronunciation of every single word. But in 2010, maybe I knew the pronunciation of 2,000 words. Today, in 2022, I know the pronunciation of 4,000 words. It means I have improved on it. You know, there is a fact, they say only a few adult native speakers of any language can speak language perfectly. Otherwise, anybody in the world, they have a problem, maybe in terms of grammar, in terms of pronunciation. But I think we should step up, we should step forward and start learning pronunciation. Thank you.
Okay, well taken. So that takes us to our another question. Now, as since I'm myself in the business of teaching and learning, so most of the times what happens that how we pronounce or how we actually speak a particular language, it also depends upon what kind of teachers we have had. For example, as a student, I also imitated a lot of my teachers. I mean, this is how much my teacher knows, our teacher know, that will be imitated by the student. So when you are in
That's
an
right.
environment, in an ecosystem where usually people don't give so much preference to pronunciation, so how can a student who aspires to speak good or correct English, how can he or she in a way improve his her language then?
Right. See, we owe a huge debt of gratitude to our teachers. Look, the teachers who taught me maybe before 2008, they didn't know anything about pronunciation or maybe accent. But whatever they knew, they taught me well. They taught me with the whole of their heart. Now, they did not know it. It does not mean it was never necessary. Well, they didn't know it. They didn't have platforms like YouTube, or they didn't have access to maybe foreign trainers, foreign native teachers. They didn't have access to those teachers, those people of that material or those platforms. But now in this age, to 2022, like we cannot claim that pronunciation is not important, or computer is not important, or the language as a whole is not important. Like since we have first we need to understand whether something is important or not. Like I know pronunciation is important. Then I have to look for ways. Are there people, are there platforms where I can learn it? Or are there people who I can go to? If I, as a layman, if I do not believe that pronunciation is important in the first place, the teachers, the platforms, the books, it all becomes irrelevant. First, I have to understand that it is important. First, when I understand it's important, then I have to look for trainers. I have to look for people who can train me. I have to look for platforms where I can improve my pronunciation, right? So we have a lot of teachers. I mean, when I started my career in 2011 or 12, then there were only a few people who could pronounce words well. But these days I see, alhamdulillah, there are a lot of people, my students, my teacher students, and so many people I can see they speak so well, and a lot of them, they work in MNCs, they earn a lot of money, a lot of them work outside India, they work abroad and they're doing so well. And I am in contact with those people. They say, sir, it's helping us a lot, this pronunciation accent. Like you cannot go to a multinational company, you cannot go to a very huge company where you have a bright future with your maybe with a neutral accent. Yes, Indian accent is a very nice accent. It's a very nice accent. But if your pronunciation is not good, then they cannot hire you. They cannot hire you, and they cannot afford to have you there. Yes, if you have Indian accent, I have no problem. There are some people who misunderstand things. There is misconception. Some people believe that there are people like me. They do not want us to speak like Indians, good Indians, who like news readers. I think Indian accent is no problem, but pronunciation has to be there. When you listen to those news readers, their pronunciation is perfect, spot on. There is no problem with their pronunciation. Yes, they may not speak like native speakers. They may not say pen. They may not say teacher. They may not say correct. They say correct. Correct is okay. The Britishers, Americans, they say correct. This aspiration part, it's optional. You do it, okay. You do not do it, it's still okay. But if your question is like, how can we, we have in our environment, there are teachers, there are students, there are friends who are not good at it. But my point is, if you really want to learn it, you'll have teachers and trainers around you. You can get help from online platforms. And in Kashmir these days, I know of a lot of teachers who train people and who make them speak like Americans or like Britishers. It depends on their taste.
Right. So since you are discussing that how important pronunciation is, if you could share some of the tips, because these conversations go to mostly to our students, because if someone is in college or school, and if they are busy in preparing their own syllabi and preparing for exams, if you could specifically share some of the tips of grammar and particularly how to improve the pronunciation.
Yes, talking about pronunciation, I think the first thing that we need to learn is symbols and sounds. We talk about English phonology. There are some symbols and sounds. We need to learn those. It doesn't take much time if you have a good teacher. You can learn through YouTube as well. Symbols and sounds, then you get Oxford Dictionary. You can check the pronunciation of each word from the dictionary. No, you don't have to read dictionary the whole day. First, find someone who speaks with good pronunciation. Make conversations, talk to that person every day for half an hour, maybe 20 minutes, half an hour every day. Listen to that person. And obviously, there'll be so many words that person who is good at pronunciation speaks some words quite differently from yours. So your pronunciation is quite different from that person. So you're saying, bait. That person is saying bat. So it means there is something, you're saying bait, they're saying bat, you're saying big, that person is saying bag. Or there are words like window, and we say window, door. So you'll notice, if you are a good speaker, you are a good listener, when you talk to someone who is good at pronunciation, you realize that there are a lot of words that this person speaks differently. You have to note those words down. You have to start copying that person. If that person says window, I should try to say window. And if I'm not able to do it, I must ask that person, how do you do this window? How can I articulate this sound? How can I produce this sound? So small little things when we learn sound, symbols, and words, 3, 4, 5 words every day. And there'll be a time when you maybe the number of words that you can pronounce well, it is far more and far greater than it was some 2 months ago. And you come across a word, you have no pronunciation, you do not know pronunciation of that word. Since you learn the sounds and symbols of English phonology, go look into the dictionary, Oxford Dictionary, look that word up, find its pronunciation, and that is how you learn. So you learn every day. So 3, 4, 5, 10 words each day. I think this will help you.
So thank you, Wajid Saab. I'm sure that this kind of conversation will help a lot of us to build our pronunciation skills, to build our communication skills. Hopefully, I'm sure that these kind of things help us learn better communication skills. And I believe these communication skills in contemporary times are exceptionally important. I am very thankful to you for taking time and talking to us. Thank you again.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.